I was going to share statistics. We had one of our clients that invited over 1,000 of their clients, their taxpayers, and there was an overall adoption rate of 55%. What I mean by overall adoption rate is that 55% of the people they invited, of the clients they invited, ended up creating an account, a TaxCaddy account, and uploading documents to it. So if someone created an account but then never used it, we didn't count them. So they had to create an account and upload documents. Now think about in the, if in over 2 decades, 10 to 15% of people fill out an organizer, and less than 10% after a decade will bother with an online organizer. But in year 1, this firm makes this technology available to their clients, and over a 55% adoption rate. This is really impressive, and it shows that the technology is, clients don't do it because they have to, they do it because they want to, and this shows that it speaks to them as something that is more convenient for them. As I mentioned before, for the clients that did adopt it, that did create an account and use it, out of those, the ones that were sent a questionnaire, 73% of them completed the questionnaire. 93% e-signed documents that were sent to them for signature. These were typically engagement letters or statements of work. And what I was told was that this firm did not get this type of return rate on signed documents when they did it on paper, and even if they did, they would get it much later because people would send back those signed documents with the shoebox of source documents, which they might not send until March. Whereas here, they could get the engagement letters back signed immediately, like in January. 8879s or e-file authorizations can also be sent by this, and they got a 98% adoption rate in terms of people who were sent the 8879 and signed it through the app. And it could be signed through the mobile app or through the browser. A few quotes here. This one is an interesting one, and it's from a Big Four firm that in 2 cases said that they went in to pitch a company to do the tax returns, the 1040s of their executives, so the 1040s. So, the deals might have been for, let's say, 50 1040s of executives, and they felt that in 2 cases, TaxCaddy was the differentiator that allowed them to win the deal, because it was, the company that was trying to hire a CPA to do their executive returns, they said, what else do you have for us besides the fact that we know you're a good firm and you've got a good name and you know what you're doing and the rates are reasonable? How else are you differentiated in a way that will be meaningful to our executives? And they said, well, they can work with us like they work with other modern financial institutions, banks, etc., through this TaxCaddy app, and that became the differentiator that helped them win these deals. Another firm that used TaxCaddy, made that specific comment about that the client, from the client's perspective, it's great. And of course, it's also great from the CPA firm, because now you can take documents coming in from this source, from TaxCaddy, and forward it on to OCR, export it to the tax return, generate a bookmarked PDF to review from. So it's all a streamlined workflow. But once again, we know that if clients don't perceive this as being a benefit for them, they won't use it. And that 55% adoption rate indicates people do perceive it that way. And this quote is also along those lines. And for those of you who are familiar with Gary Boomer is a well-known technology consultant and visionary in the professional tax space, or not just tax, but CPA firm space in general. And it just so happened that his CPA, the CPA that does his personal return, uses SurePrep, 1040 scan, and SurePrep binder. And so Gary ended up using TaxCaddy on his personal return, and he loved it. He said that it just took him 5 minutes to answer his organizer questions, and it was just much more convenient and easier than any other tax year he's ever had in terms of providing his information to a CPA. He actually wrote a white paper about it, called the Guide to Simplifying Tax Time. That's available from our website.